Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Infantry Pulse, and today we're going to be going through some ARD reviews. So in the same vein as the unit reviews we did yesterday, we're going to be going through some of the Discord community's Aether Raids defenses, and just kind of looking at them, seeing what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, just seeing some fun stuff for sure. You might be weirded out by not seeing my face right now and just hearing my voice. That is because my camera decided to not work, unfortunately. So I was able to record about 5 of these, and then my camera decided that it didn't want to work anymore. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we'll try to get that figured out for the future ones. And sorry that there's only 5 of these today. We got like literally 40 more to go through, so this will be a whole series. So if you're waiting to see some interesting and cool and unique Aether Raids defenses, this is definitely going to be a cool series for you guys to watch. Without further ado, let's get into the first one. Okay, so first up we have Tofer's map. So Tofer has a dancer trap here. The idea is that with aerobatics, Peony hops over and dances Julia, which is then going to expand the threat range by 1. The main thing that would improve this map is if this was Duo Sigurd. He just doesn't have Duo Sigurd. So Dancer Traps with Duo Sigurd is the best because they expand the threat range the most. But that definitely can still catch people by surprise and, you know, start off the rally chain with Bernadetta, which then will get danced by Mirabilis. And Bernadetta with that Fire Sweep bow is no joke. This is a plus 10 Bernadetta, so he's got it well invested. Over here on the left, we actually have Caden, and Caden's actually a pretty good unit. He has, you know, the impact effect from being a Cav, and, you know, red brings color balance to the team as well, so that's actually quite good. Also, melee kind of brings balance to the threat of the team. And having Racing here means that Racing can actually catch up to Caden and dance him as well. This is a pretty good team overall, I would say. Something like Flow Refresh might actually be really good in his B slot here, since he is stacking speed. Actually, I don't think he can use Flow Refresh. That's my bad. So yeah, a low attack defense is actually probably the move, truthfully. And then, yeah, so we've got just, like, defensive stuff as well. This Julia is actually quite spooky. She actually stacks defense really, really well and has null follow-up. So she can actually kill some Vectors sometimes. She can't charge that Moonbow up because of Special Fighter usually, but yeah, that is a thing. I might think about switching to Wings of Mercy instead of Dragon Wall. She is on the front line, so I understand. Especially since the Dancer Trap isn't as big as you might want it to be because it's Peony and not Sigurd. It kind of makes sense to have her, you know, a little bit more defensive, but I don't know that it's worth it. I think that Wings of Mercy might be a little bit better there in some cases, but again, you're the one that's seen the replays, so you probably know a little bit better than I do. But yeah, good team, Tofer. I've fought this team before on a Aether Raids offense showcase. Definitely a really strong team for sure. Yeah. Next up, we have President Evil's Flier Ball here. So the idea is Bridal Catria is here to, you know, mess up some units pretty bad. She's got Lance Breaker to deal with Brave Hectors. You've got Sheeta on the front line here, which is actually a pretty good idea. Sheeta has the advantage against a whole bunch of unit types and effective damage against them as well. So that's pretty good. You've got classic legendary Byleth, or not legendary, summer Byleth things. On the front line here, we have Lyn with Guard, which is interesting because that's actually preventing people from charging up their specials since she is a Brave Weapon user. And then the Sturdy Impact as well. So they're really stacking defense super, super well here. DC is really great. That's a good answer for sure. The Peony having the Fortress Res here, I'm guessing that's to try and prevent her from attacking and getting baited. She has minus attack also, so that's definitely helpful. And then we've got, you know, Goad Flyer support, all that kind of stuff. The Reigns, I might actually think the Reigns might be better switched to something like a Goad Flyers, just so that they can be down. I don't know that Sheeta needs it because she's your, like, frontliner essentially, but maybe Lyn doesn't need the speed defense rain. Maybe she takes Goad Flyers instead, or Ward Flyers, honestly. My big concern with this is there's a lot of offensive presence, but there's not a lot of defensive presence on this team. Also, Wedding Bell Axe is really redundant with Tailwind Shuriken. It's already a Brave weapon, so it doesn't really need that effect. I would also maybe consider switching Catria over to where Byleth is, so that you have more units with the triangle attack on them, so that they can actually get that off, right? So like if I bait For example, like if I bait just... Actually, I guess there's not really a place. That's true. You can't. There's not really a place where you can bait just... like if I baited Lynn, for example... Yeah, if I baited just Lynn from like this forest tile right here, she's not getting the triangle effect. But I guess that's the redundancy, I guess, is what I'm... That makes sense then. Okay, I see what you're trying to do now. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a good idea, but I think that it's focusing way too much on offensive presence, and there's not defensive presence. Like, this is very much Gale Force food, and since there's no trap, you have plenty of time to set up a Gale Force strategy. It also is just like any kind of offensive presence that can nuke down the front line is gonna be a problem. Like, if we do just like hit and run, for example, that's gonna be kind of a problem, especially if something like isolation is happening. But yeah, I mean, like, the offensive presence is definitely there. It's very spooky to just, like, you're not just gonna plonk a tank here and probably do well. I mean, maybe you can. There's probably a couple tanks that can do decently well against this team. Especially going, like, right here, next to this birthday cake. You're gonna deal with a lot, but, like, I'm thinking about, like, my what's his name? Young Leon, just plonking right here, and then having Wendy behind him. Wendy might be able to deal with, Wendy might have a problem with Sheeta, but, like, these two will be non-threats. I mean, that's 71 attack, that's true, but as if there's a Null Seed Disrupt unit or a unit that's a mage or a dragon, then they're just gonna blow up this Byleth. Like, of course she's gonna hit with 71 attack first, so that's gonna be like, wow, that's a lot. But, like, that's gonna tickle Young Leon at best. So that's I have some concerns about just, like, the offensive pressure of this team. It's a little bit much on the offensive side, and probably needs a little bit more on the defensive side for sure. Also, this catapult is only level 2, so that's a question. Oh, I guess it is the bonus structure. That's a bonus structure this week, so that makes sense why that's there. But yeah, overall I think the Katria being very well protected is pretty good stuff. It's gonna be hard to get her out, but I think that, like, the only real units that are benefiting from Katria are Byleth and Sheeta, and you can bait, like, if you bait correctly, then you're not gonna probably deal with the triangle attack. So yeah, that's what that is. Cool. All right, next up we have Mizuryu Kai's classic Cavline here. So we've got a Pelagian Torch on the +10 Sylvain with the Lancebreaker. That's pretty good stuff. I do wonder if that's actually enough to kill Bector. I'll probably test that here at the end, because I have Bector ready to go. I'm wondering if that's actually enough to kill Bector. The Quan is an interesting unit in the back there. Him being that far back is a little bit strange to me. I mean, I guess you're looking for the Rally plus Ruse combo, plus the Res Feint, but being a melee unit means that you've got this all blocked off down here, so, like, no one's going to be able to actually attack. If that was the same exact thing but a ranged unit, that would be much, much better. You are eating a dance here to begin with. I guess you're going to eat the Mira dance, right? Because she's melee. But you are eating a dance here at the beginning against Walt. The Fire Sweep by Walt is actually quite good overall. He is a little bit lacking in the attack department, but the double Poison Strike is going to be, you know, a lot to deal with. But then again, like, if you're just tinging off that and you're taking the Poison Strike, there's not really anyone to follow up with it, right? Wings of Mercy is good. Hone Speed 3 is a little bit weird for me. I might go Hone Attack, because, like, the speed is great. Like, doubling is great, but you have the speed from ARD speed, so maybe Hone Attack is better, because he's going to really struggle to deal damage against a lot of tanks with only 49 attack. You've got your Veronica here with the solos. That's good stuff. Joint Hone Speed's also good. Yeah, the Sylvain is, like, really, really built, so you're putting a lot of your money into Sylvain. I just want to see real fast if he can actually take down the Bector. Yeah, something like this. This is not set up ideally, so, like, it's going to be a little bit whatever, but... Yeah, okay, so he actually does take down the Vector, so that's pretty good. Yeah, okay, so... Why did Bonfire not go off, though? That's my question. Oh, because of the guard effect. Yeah, that makes sense. The guard effect from the ruse. Yeah, okay. All right, that's interesting then. Yeah, that works. Okay. Yeah, I would say that units that typically counter a Cavline will probably still counter this. Also, stacking the ruse and the res feint with Pelagian Torch, that's a really smart idea for sure. So yeah, definitely good like anti-vector unit overall with all the support you've given him. So that's smart stuff. But I would worry that anything that's like built to counter a Cavline just counters this Cavline. You know, there's not really a blue threat, interestingly. Usually you lack a green threat on a Cavline, but you actually have 2 very strong green threats. But there is a lack of a blue threat, so something like a, especially Null Sea Disrupt Brave Ike, that's going to be a huge problem for you, I imagine. So that's something to watch out for sure. But I mean, like, the combination of Pelagian Torch, you really got the Sylvain carrying you here. But again, if something beats the Sylvain, you're kind of up a creek, so... Yeah, interesting team for sure. Definitely cool with the Pelagian Torch jacking. Yeah. Alright, next up we have Phoenix May. So this is an interesting little team here, kind of an eclectic team. So you've got the Annette, which is good stuff. She's infantry pulsing. We've got 2 pulses down. So, and then he's got the, okay, he's got the Quicken Pulse. So he's got Iceberg pre-charged. Yeah, and then you've got Shamir here. Shamir being in the back like that means that I'm guessing very often you're going to have issues with her getting the solo condition. So she's a good green threat still, I suppose. But you're really, at this point, she's just a slaying bow, right? So the whole thing of her bow is the solo condition, and if you're trying to ground orders her around, that's not really going to work for you. There's also the issue of Annette finding a good target to rally. I guess you can rally, she'll rally, if you bait Morgan, she'll rally the Morgan, which will be good because he'll get the defense ruse down and that'll activate his weapon. So actually these 2 in tandem with the ruse plus the Tome of Despair, that actually stacks pretty well for you here. There is only 1 mythic, so you're obviously going to want to look to win every match. You're going to need to win every match to prevent that. Attack Res Menace is good. I'm concerned about Sabotage Defense on the defense. So oftentimes, unless you're facing an armor ball or, you know, like a save ball, the units are not going to be next to each other. Like, the units are pretty often going to be solo, or they're going to be, you know, just adjacent to each other. Morgan's a pretty good unit overall. I would worry about how easy this team might be to Gale Force, because although he's got like strong defenses, his HP is pretty low, and unless they're, I mean, any null follow-up unit is going to be able to absolutely obliterate him. That being said, you do have the Byleth here, which is, you know, very easy, again, a very easy target of Gale Force, but also you're gonna have to worry about units, you know, someone sniping her, right? So if I'm playing against this team, I probably just go in with, you know, Brenya, or if it's light season, I'm going in with Norn, and I'm sniping the Byleth, and then that puts Pulse Smoke down on everyone that had an infantry pulse on them, right? So no more Glimmer for your Saros, and no more Iceberg for your Morgan. So yeah, that's unfortunate for them. Mirror Impact's great on him, I think, especially scaling with Iceberg. I wonder. Let's do another vector test here, just to see if he can actually. This isn't like an ideally built vector at all, but it is one that exists. So let's just see what happens here. I just want to see if Morgan can do it. Okay. Well, Morgan doesn't even attack, so Morgan didn't get the kill there then, because Morgan would have attacked if he had the kill, right? Yeah, Morgan would have just died, right? So that's a little bit unfortunate that, you know, your main carry on this team is red, and the meta is very blue right now. Like, even on this team, I'm running 2 blue carries. I'm running Brenya Vector, right? So I would be concerned about how this team deals with Vector. I mean, Shamir is back here, but she's hard to get that solo condition onto. Null follow-up, I'm sure, helps her. And the pre-charged Deadeye is actually probably quite good. So those two things combined probably go pretty well for you. But again, she's super susceptible to Pulse Smoke, just like the rest of the team. So yeah, I'd watch out for that for sure. Definitely an interesting combination with the Rally Attack plus Ruse with Male Morgan. Like, that's a really cool concept. I like that a lot. That's definitely what you've got going for you. I would just watch, like, exactly what I just did is going to be what your problem is, I imagine. So watch out for stuff like that. And then also, Pulse Smoke is obviously the bane of Infantry Pulse teams, but yeah. Cool team, yeah. Interesting Infantry Pulse team for sure. Definitely like the gimmick with the Morgan and Annette. Okay, next up we have Eva's Anima defense here. Okay, so right off the bat, I can tell that it's not a trap exactly because Sigurd can't actually get all the way over to Lift to dance him. So Dorothy is going to have to dance Lift, which means Dorothy is eating the dance. My very first thing that I think when I see this team is that Katria is way too snipeable. She's in a very, very vulnerable position, and you definitely don't want that for her, right? So if that's your plan, is to use Katria to clear the team, that's going to be a little bit unfortunate, right? So either sniping from over on the other side of the defense tile with a ranged unit, or going onto the defense tile and killing the Katria, that's going to be a problem for you. It's going to be harder to go on the defense tile with a melee unit and wipe the Katria, because if you do that, then you're wiping the whole team probably, and then you don't get pots. So the pots being on this side is a good idea. It's definitely well protected. You have a good protection on your duos hindrance and on your pots. But if I use a ranged unit, for example, someone that's not going to have a problem with, you know, any of these units here, then like my Brenya probably would be fine. Maybe, yeah, the Thrasier is not fast enough, so my Brenya would be fine and could deal with the remainder of these units probably. But, you know, any kind of range tank that's going to be able to snipe down the Katria. I'm also a little bit confused by Renewal and Armored Blow. Renewal is definitely the big question mark for me. This should be a different seal. This should be like a Bond or something probably, or a Form. And then the A slot, the attack speed push would probably just be better than Armored Blow in general. Like, Sturdy Impact's a great skill for Katria, but if you don't have Sturdy Impact, I don't think Armored Blow is the right tech. Even Sturdy Blow would be probably better than Armored Blow. Just +6 defense on the initiation is not really what you're looking for there, especially when you have a plus defense IV. That's not really necessary, I don't think. We have Speed Res Form 2 here. That definitely needs to be upgraded. So you can get the Speed Res Form 3 from Wrath, I think. So it's in the 4-star pool, and you don't even have to upgrade him. So that's definitely something we need to look to upgrade. Everything else is pretty fine. That's a little bit strange, the Grounded Shield. I guess that's like anti-Micaiah tech. So that's an interesting choice. I definitely haven't seen that before. But yeah, definitely need to... I know you're probably in Sacred Coin poverty. A lot of new players are in Sacred Coin poverty, so it's hard to upgrade these skills. But Renewal is not the move here. That's gotta go for sure. Everything else looks pretty fine overall, but yeah, I would say the Katria is super, super vulnerable, so that's kind of a weakness of the team. If you're trying to get Triangle Attack off, it's just not going to happen for you, especially with Cavs. Triangle Attack and Cavs don't really work out well because you can max range bait a Cav pretty easily. So like if I bait, for example, from like right here underneath the Tactics room, then Katria can't get to me, and Leaf and Thrasier are going to attack me without the Triangle Attack boost. And then regular Liff over here is going to eat the dance from Dorothea, so she's not a problem. And then, you know, Saros will probably get danced by Sigurd. Yeah, Saros would get danced by Sigurd, which would, you know, not be an issue. Like that, she's again not going to get the Triangle Attack. So if you're trying to get Triangle Attack off, I would recommend not using a Cavline. It's not really the best combination in the world. It's really good with like infantry units and flying units specifically, but yeah, look at that build specifically. That's the one that needs the most work. Armored Blow and Renewal are probably not the move, but yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good team. Like the units are good. I just worry about their placement and the like actual utility that you get from winning Bell Axe. And that is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a like if you enjoy the content. There's a link to the Discord in the description. That's where all of these people's, lovely people's defenses came from. They all submitted them for the first year anniversary celebration. So make sure to hit up the Discord. Lots of cool people there. Lots of people that can help you with your Aether Raids defense if you need help with that at all. Or if you just want to hang out and vibe, that's good too. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, I will see you all later. Bye!